an Imperial officer with a bunch of stormtroopers walks in and starts giving you orders. And so you are now prisoners of the Empire. So I'm high off my ass at Disneyland, and now a fascist is telling me what to do.
Oh my God. I
didn't know if it was a test. There was a brief moment where I like leaned down to Jackie and I was like, are we supposed to just like fucking rush him? It is AITApod, the only pod where you can get insightful, charming, plenty of juice conversations about the ins and outs of human conflict and the many foibles that come with it. We are doing things a little bit differently today. I have imparted my wares upon your favorite discussion people for this podcast, Shannon D and Danny Vega joining me today.
Oh, the thing's falling.
We are off to a tremendous start. The room is falling apart. I think it's safe to say for anybody listening now, this is a little bit different than the format. The handsome, charming, and wonderfully voiced Danny Vega is usually here to kick us off on this journey. However, today, since it is the weed number episode, we thought we'd do something a little funky. And I have gotten Danny and Shannon to get high on different products that I have sold over the years. And I'm running the show, I think, slightly less high than you guys are, just a smidge.
Well, we don't endorse marijuana use. We don't recommend it.
No, it's a personal
something
choice.
You can do. It's a personal choice. I don't recommend it. I actively have said before on this fucking podcast that I was trying to never do this.
Okay.
Well, how are you feeling right now?
I don't know. This is all very intense and bizarre. You know?
I said just before we started recording, for you, this kind of has to feel like you took a nap. You took one of those little too long naps.
Yep.
And you woke up and you feel like you've traveled back in time. Right. And things that you know happened have not happened.
This feels like an alternate reality.
Yeah.
I wanted to be flown home from Amsterdam on this drug. I ingested half a brownie at an Amsterdam coffee shop.
So strong.
So you made a choice.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing.
Well, in a past relationship, she went to sleep and I freaked the fuck out. Couldn't sleep, and then I became obsessed that I needed to go home or I was gonna lose my job.
And it was that the anxiety took over.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you?
And I was looking at flights and they were gonna cost $2,000. I was like, that's nothing. This is like something I need to do. It's not a problem.
I wonder why you thought you were gonna get fired.
Because the CEO was at the company. It was actually a narcissistic, self-centered thing. Like, he gave a shit, where he's like, where is he? Like, he didn't care, he's a really cool guy. Like, he didn't care though. It was like,
right.
What?
Well, I've got some questions for you. I've got a couple of games for y'all.
Interview us a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to keep this simple. So now,
KISS.
Keep it simple, sexy.
Sexy.
So folks at home, for reference, we just smoked a little bit of an indica hybrid from a company here in California. Oh. Super relaxing, very light on the head, sits more in the body.
Question, teach, is when it's indica hybrid, it's after? Does that mean, or the indica's first? That
it means that it is predominantly indica. Indica is what the forward-leaning type of flower, and then on the back end, you're going to have some sativa elements to it.
Okay.
So I love an indica hybrid for being operationally high. That's my recommendation if you're trying to go for anti-anxiety, still hold a conversation, which is what we did here today. So first question that I would love to ask both of you, what was your first cannabis experience?
It was like senior year, and I felt like every single time before when I smoked, I wasn't like actually inhaling, so I was never really getting high. And so I was like smoking with people. I didn't know how to do it, and I truly just was not getting high. I was like smoking bowls, could not get high. But I was just like, oh, I guess this is what being high is. And I would just be like hanging out with my friends, basically sober, but like we just smoked. And I'd be like, okay, I guess like I'm high. I don't really feel anything. And then my girlfriends and I all like smoked on the golf course. And then my friend was driving us around. She actually did not smoke, so she was our DD. And I got super, super high, like really high, the highest ever. And I had a legit panic attack. And I didn't know anything about weed at all. Like all I knew was it was drugs. Like Dare is telling you it's drugs.
Drugs.
Strangers are going to approach you on the street and willfully just offer you bags of this. Yeah, those kind of drugs.
Like, who's giving away their weed for free?
That's a weird obsession that we always have. I don't want to throw us off track, but like poison, like weed candies in Halloween bags is like the new razor blade in the apple.
Why would I waste my money?
Why would I waste my razor blades?
And also,
you know, those are mine.
Those aren't cheap either.
Those are really expensive, dude. Like,
you know what? So you were having a freak out. What was the ride through that freak out?
Oh, so because I didn't know anything about drugs, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I've overdosed. I literally thought I overdosed. And I was just sitting back there like...
overdose.
Literally. And I was like, oh my God, like I've never been this high ever. And my friend could see I was freaking out. And luckily she had already had experience with that. And so she was... talking me off of the ledge, and I was so thankful for her because she knew, oh no, you're fine, like you can't overdose on weed, because I was like, do we need to go to the hospital?
That's a rookie says I need to go to the hospital regarding weed anytime they overdo it on edibles. That's the way it goes. And then we went to a pizza place and my friend parked, and this is like, do you and your friends ever have like catchphrases and it's like a lifelong like inside joke? Oh yeah.
I have no one like that in my life.
He's so alone.
This is such a great gimmick for the pod episode.
I have no one like that in my life, and I never have.
Danny's just like completely depressed.
I have nobody.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. There's a thing called inside jokes, and it's like when you and your friend experience something that no one else is gonna get.
Okay, I'm with you conceptually.
Yeah.
So, anyway, she just parks her car.
People
and
bond.
She goes, so she parks her car, and we're like, oh wow, we're really impressed. She goes, they don't call me Parallel Parking Maddie for nothing, and that's just like our like live on forever catchphrase.
What is it again?
They don't call me Parallel Parking Maddie for nothing. And she's like walked away so swaggy.
You hit the right joke at the right time like that, and it just becomes immortal.
Oh yeah. So then after she parks, we go into the pizza shop, and our gym teacher who taught us Dare was there.
What?
Oh my God.
And we were like, oh my God, and Mrs. Carr. And we all ran away, all the high people. And then my friend Maddie, who was sober, had to deal with like the stop and chat with her and like try and explain to her why we all just ran away back to the car as fast as we could.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love when the universe like glitches like that when you're high, and something that like would be weird if you were stone cold sober happens.
Yes.
Wild. Danny, what about yourself?
What was the question?
Your first time using weed.
Oh, I have no fucking clue.
That's a great answer.
I don't know.
And usually the first time is kind of unremarkable for a lot of people.
Yeah, I got nothing on the first time. Listen, I know my memory started to blur and my sanity began to fade right when I began taking marijuana. And listen, though, this is true. One time I took an edible, and I became extremely concerned about just the state of affairs. And I got a phone call, and it was my friend's sister. But the way she began the phone call, I just said, like, hello. And she said, do you know where Brittany Johnson is? And just that, like, and that was it. It was like, and I was like, no. And she's like, oh, because we haven't been able to talk to her for like 12 hours, whatever. And nothing happened. It was in that, but it's just like,
Wait,
I was like,
who is this? Oh, you were high?
I was extremely high off an edible.
High.
A Ghirardelli, if you will. I'm sorry. But
that was pretty good.
But it ruined it. You know, then it was like the FBI is outside, and, you know, she's a missing person, and it just casts a dark, dark shadow on Ghirardelli.
Wild.
I actually don't eat Ghirardelli chocolate anymore.
Have you ever been to the factory in San Francisco?
I would never go to that place.
What would that experience be like for you?
I don't want to even think about it, honestly. I'm scared that we are talking about it, and
all
that
right,
it could
we'll
now
move on.
Okay, let's
move
move
into
on.
one of my dreams. So let's move on. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna spare you guys the story of the first time I got high. It's very run of the mill. Not really a story there. However, a very recent high story that I have, which I feel so fortunate that this happened to me. I was at Disneyland with my partner and a few of our friends, and we had been able to very easily, well, hypothetically, let's say, we were able to smuggle drugs into Disneyland. We got our weed into Disneyland.
Yeah.
And they're scouting for that kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm very confident at, I think I'm probably around like a 3.5 out of 10 right now on the high scale. I'm still very lucid.
You're
I'm
at 3.5 right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling very good. I'm
Shannon?
just kind of chilling.
On what?
1 to 10 scale
Of what?
of the cannabis.
The indica hybrid pre-roll that we smoked. How high are you?
What about, I'm really high.
1 to 10.
I don't even remember what you're
1 to 10. Pick a number between 1 and 10, where 10 is max high.
Max high?
1 is...
You're at 10?
No.
Okay.
Probably like 7.
7. Okay, 7's a good spot to be.
Pretty high.
7's good.
What about you?
I am at emoji of a duck,
Oh,
I would say.
Wow. Okay,
That's
so you're
cute.
feeling that's a very happy feeling. You should hold on to that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wait, emoji? What emoji would you be?
Oh, right now?
Maybe a tiger.
Oh, the tiger one.
look
Yeah,
like a
you
tiger
look like a
a lot.
tiger.
Yeah.
I hadn't even really thought of
Yeah.
that. That's another reason this experience is so powerful.
I think it's important for people who, this is predominantly an audio medium, folks at home. I am wearing a poncho that I got at IKEA that has palm leaves on it, and it's orange and magenta, and it easily looks like tiger
We
stripes.
should put it on the story on Instagram.
We'll put
it's
it.
very surreal as well, because the idea that IKEA sells clothes is also I am in
yeah,
a
we glossed
parallel.
over that.
I am in a parallel world,
And IKEA has ponchos.
which is so weird.
That is-
who buys clothes at IKEA?
This guy.
Yeah, no, and it's a look. That's the other thing. It's also like I'm coming to terms with like IKEA makes clothes and it's incredible.
It's so, folks at home, I'm wearing what amongst my friends has become to know as, surprise, the IKEA poncho.
Yeah.
We had the party over the summer. We were shopping for that, and I saw it as soon as we walked into IKEA. It's the first thing. And Jackie did not need a moment's hesitation. She was just like, "You're about to buy that poncho, aren't you?" I was, "Yep." I didn't even wait to buy it at the
She
end.
knew.
Yeah, she knew.
That's amazing.
She knows my aesthetic, and I didn't even wait to buy it at the end of IKEA. I went to one of the registers that's available near the front of the store and bought it up front because I just had to have this bad boy. And
it's a towel.
incredible.
yeah, it's like a towel material poncho.
Yeah.
So super comfy, very fun for this kind of environment. But it's become a running joke
Or
now.
the
And
beach.
that's the thing about the IKEA poncho. Yes, it is the ultimate in relaxation dressings. This is the voice I do anytime I'm wearing it around the house. Jackie has come to love it, but she hated it at first.
I'm
You see, it is
sure.
fashion. It is all modular, baby. It is all about living your life. Go to the forest, do the drugs.
I would have.
That's a candle, Shannon.
That's a candle.
I was smelling it. Oh my god.
Oh my god, I thought you were
gonna
gonna drink it. I was like, first of all, when did I buy orange juice? Second of all, she's gonna drink the orange juice. And that's definitely a candle.
All right, that's a wrap on episode 420, folks. Shannon drank wax.
Oh my god,
you
that is
jerk.
terrifying.
But to loop it back, Disneyland. I am there. I'm at about where Shannon is. I'm about a 7, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling loose. I know myself when I'm high, so it's easier to navigate. But I had never been to Star Wars Land. And Star Wars Land is very convincing. And when you're at a 7 out of 10, you start forgetting you're in Disneyland. You start looking at this through the eyes of a child, and you don't see an actor getting paid a pretty good rate to walk around and be the Mandalorian. You see the Mandalorian.
Really?
And I'm letting myself
Disney World hit.
I'm letting myself just be there. I'm not like pulling myself out of that illusion. I just know like I'm in happiest place on earth. Anytime we saw stormtroopers, we started booing. It was really we were essentially like calling fucking cops and booing, and it was really fun. And for some reason, we didn't get kicked out. We went into this one particular ride that they have that I thought was just a ride where you sit down in the thing and ooh, we're in space. You're not in space, but that's what they want you to feel like. This wasn't a ride; it was an experience. It's the big ride at the Star Wars Land place. I sound so out of touch. At the Star Wars Land place.
Where's that?
Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
Galaxy's Edge is what it's called. Star Wars Land works
Shannon,
too.
are you keeping up here?
But the ride is essentially a walkthrough experience where on a large scale, you are treated as if you are part of the rebellion. I am starting to realize that I am too high for this ride at this point. Like, as soon as I walk in and there is somebody speaking to this room, announcing to all of us of, you are now all part of the most dangerous mission that the rebellion has ever had to undertake. And failure could mean death or worse. And I'm sitting here just like, I was just telling myself outside, like, treat it like real. And now this is too real. What did you sign me up for? And I'm looking to my friends, and they all know what's going on, and they start recognizing, like, oh, Jake is very high and on this ride. So as it progresses, they literally start telling you, like, they found us, quickly, to the ships, and they have you brisk walk. This is the only place I've ever been in Disneyland where they're telling you, like, go, you gotta move.
Oh, do they tell people, like, you have to be physically fit to ride this ride?
You don't need to be, like, you can lag, but if you get swept up in it like I was, you are in survival mode. And that is where I was at.
Were you the only one that was power walking?
Like, people were straight up running.
It was just you.
What are y'all doing?
Like, everyone was power walking.
We're all gonna die.
Like, okay, Jake, calm down.
I'm still in command enough to know this is just like a goofy situation I find myself in, and I'm fine. That was how I was able to just enjoy it for the whole time and appreciate, like, a good old-fashioned freak out. So they hurry you into this ship, and then once you get in the ship, I'm like, okay, this is the ride. Now we're just gonna be on this thing, and it's just gonna move and bounce around or whatever. That ship gets captured by the Empire, and then the doors open up, and an Imperial officer with a bunch of stormtroopers walks in and starts giving you orders. And so you are now prisoners of the Empire. So I'm high off my ass at Disneyland, and now a fascist is telling me what to do.
Oh my God.
I didn't know if it was a test. There was a brief moment where I, like, leaned down to Jackie and I was like, are we supposed to just, like, fucking rush him? Like, do we lose the ride here if we just let him capture us? We got to fight back. But also, this set is incredible. It's a whole, like, hangar-sized space with, like, TIE fighters hanging from the ceilings. It's really well done. And as I'm thinking that, one of the Imperials sees me out of the crowd and goes, "You, the tall one!" And now I'm like, they didn't do that to anybody else. What did I do? Like, oh no. And I said this out loud. Disneyland knows I'm high. And I thought that was why I was about to get kicked out of Disneyland. This guy walks up to me. He's like a Tim Robinson character. He's just like, "Look at you. You can't believe where you are. You need a picture of this moment. Look at him. He's about to cry." He turned to my friends and started saying, "He's about to cry."
No, are you
said
serious?
it repeatedly. Everybody is cracking up because
that seems inappropriate.
We're all different levels of high, so everybody's appreciating this, and they know I'm fine. They know I'm not actually freaking out, but everybody's just appreciating, like, what the fuck is happening right now? So that just turned out to be how that ride lets you take a picture in front of the hangar. So I'll post it on the Discord, so there's a reference point for it.
Crying?
No, it's all of us, like, holding back hard laughs at knowing how ridiculous this situation was.
I want to see it.
Anyway, everything was fine. I just wrote it out, but, like, I wasn't freaking out in the sense where, like, y'all were, where my reality was actually altered. It was just, I felt different enough that I could enjoy how absurd everything around me was. And I'm very grateful for that experience. So it all worked out for the best. And it's something my friends and I, like, cry laughing when we talk about it happening. So it was a lot of fun in the end. And that employee really needs to work on his, like, he just went aggro so hard on, "You, the tall one." And it was like, I definitely believe that I did something wrong.
Why did they single you out? I don't get it.
Because I was hanging back from the group, just taking in the size of this massive fucking room because I'm high, and somebody noticed.
And he's in character, right?
He's in character, and
he noticed you were high?
I learned this from my partner who worked at Disney forever. They call it a making a Disney moment. You can, like, let somebody bend the rules a little bit to get a picture or whatever, or, like, give them a special treat on one of the rides that you don't normally get. So that's what that guy was trying to do while loudly shouting, "He's gonna cry!" And that was the only part where I was like, all right, man, I'm good. Like, you don't have to come at me that hard.
Yeah, really.
We get it, bro. Let's do a sitch.
Should we do a sitch? Hey, everybody, it's me. I'm Danny. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It's the AITA podcast, and we're going to talk about some situations. And that second situation, it's got something to do with drugs. But first of all, this situation right here, once again, Danny Vega, not Jake, saying this part. AITA for telling my wife her drinking isn't comparable to me smoking weed. This morning, my wife and I were talking about getting on the healthier side of life. I, 23, am a stoner. I smoke weed every day. Maybe 1 to 3 bowls, depending when I start smoking. My wife, 28 F is her vice is alcohol. The morning talk was about eating right and mainly my wife drinking less. I told her verbatim, drinking every day is one thing. Drinking an entire bottle of liquor a night is a different thing. And she is now currently mad at me. I told her I wasn't trying to be a jerk. I was just trying to convey that drinking an entire bottle every single day is way worse than casually drinking a 6-pack of beer at night. Then she tried to compare her drinking to my smoking. As for my smoking habits, I go through, give or take, a 1/4 ounce of weed a month. So roughly 0.23 grams a day, which I would say, other than the smoking every day, I am not smoking excessively. At least when you try to compare drinking a bottle every night. Am I the asshole for calling my wife out and saying her habits don't really compare together that well?
It is not productive for couples to compare each other's flaws when they're trying to deal with one person's issue. Deal with it one at a time. And don't say to each other like, well, you do this, well, you do this.
Right.
And I've had situations like that in the past with my boyfriend. And, you know, like one of us had an issue and then the other one would be like, yeah, well, you. And they were similar to this. It was like mine was my blacking out problem.
Sure.
And so, you know, it's like, okay, let's deal with that another time. We're dealing with this. He was the one that was more mature to say that. Like, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's what in this situation that they need to do is talk about their situations separately.
Yeah,
because I think they both have an issue. I personally do think that one kind of is worse than the other, but that's not really the issue here. I think it's more that they need to deal with it. Yeah,
bottle of alcohol a day is big consumption. That's
a lot.
That's a lot of alcohol.
How many drinks is that? I mean, that's like 20 drinks, 12 drinks at least.
And do you think she means like they mean like a fifth?
I'd hope it's a fifth, because if it's like
that's so fucking
it's
much.
still a lot, yeah. But fifth is like the
Better than a
smallest
gallon,
size
yeah.
it could be, right?
Totally.
Yeah, and I think the difficult thing here is whenever you're talking
25 ounces.
25 ounces.
And
25.
casually drinking 6 beers. I'm sorry, that's not casual.
I think that's
Thank you. That's insane.
I think that's like the amount of beer that you could get away with on like a Friday or a Saturday or like, but yeah, 6-pack every night, like, look, to each their own. If you're in control of your life, you're in control of it.
That's
but like that's a
almost
lot.
as bad as a whole.
When I was in my early 20s and working really hard jobs, I could drink a 6-pack in a night, but I wouldn't try to. I'd usually top out at 4. But I was like drinking more when I was in my younger years because one, you don't see the physical effects nearly as quickly.
Yeah. Well, I was definitely drinking a fifth like a night for sure.
Sure, yeah, everybody was there, but
you were drinking a fifth a night?
Not a night, sorry, but like I could like on a Friday and stuff is what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Well, throughout the night, if I'm like going all night, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're in party mode, you remember.
Hence why I don't drink anymore. I would be blacked the fuck out.
Incredible. I can't believe that.
Yeah, and I would never puke either.
Never.
But I would
puke.
just black out. As I got older, I would puke the next morning. But I've never in my life puked the night of, like, from being sick from it, ever.
All right.
But I would be completely blacked out. Like,
right.
Zero memory at all.
Wow.
Well, and that's alcohol is so powerful when used in excess, where weed is like, look, I am very adamant that weed, it's very hard to become physically addicted to it. People can become emotionally addicted to it. And it can become something where it's easy to tell yourself.
And it can alter your personality.
And look, there's so many great applications that can be used with this where it's not mind altering, where you're not experiencing the high of it.
Right.
And we're starting to see more opportunities with that. But when it is something that you're using to get through the day, look, there's periods of life where you go to weird places to get through weird shit. And like, if that's something that you temporarily do, that's great. But it is easy to get stuck in the need for it to operate at a base level. And that's where the danger is. And I think that it's not, I wouldn't say it's easy to get to that place. You kind of have to will yourself there because you're not coming back to it for the physical impulse of doing it. You're coming back to it out of the habit of wanting the high.
Yes.
And, that's, I think that even then, even in that situation, you're going to see way less adverse effects on your life when you're using weed like that, because you probably can get through your day just fine, but it's just a matter of, is it making you happy, is it serving you? Where alcohol is like, I've known every time I've worked with a drunk coworker, I have no idea how many times I've worked with high coworkers. I've seen them like stick out a couple of times, but people
are probably high way more than you even think.
And that's something that like I tell anytime customers when I was on the retail side of things come in and they're like acting all like, I shouldn't be here, I hope somebody from work doesn't see me. It's just like it's all windows on the front of the building, like you're allowed to be in here. Nobody's gonna keep notes of you using this perfectly legal substance that everybody is using.
I was thinking as we started recording, because you know how I'm like probation or whatever right now, not real probation, but I'll tell that story another day.
Yeah, we'll save that for a fresh app.
Oh, I saw her use her breathalyzer. That was really funny.
Oh yeah.
So you hum into it. Yeah, she did it, but I didn't know that. So she just like grabs it.
You have to go like this.
And I was like, I guess that's just how she blows. I'm not gonna say anything, but does she know you don't need to make a noise?
You thought she was just singing to her car?
Yeah, I was like, have you heard of? She doesn't know about that.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's how I did it when they were trying to train me. Anyway, something from 10 years ago recently came back to bite me in the ass. I'm not going to get into it now. I'll tell you guys at another point, but that's what we're talking about there.
Sure.
Juice drop.
What were we talking?
She'll tell you guys in the Patreon first.
So I was thinking when we started recording, I was like, oh no, does this would this get in trouble? I'm like, oh yeah, weed's legal.
You're fine.
It's so ingrained in us that it's a drug. It's drugs.
And and now it's like I'm having the reverse thing where it's my everyday life. So I don't think there's any kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Taboo to this at all now. I'm just like, yeah, it's just a plant, you smoking, you feel funny. That's all it does. But it is still something that people will clutch pearls over. But I think now that it's starting to like you start to see it coming into states that you traditionally wouldn't expect to see legalization happen. Everybody sees the money on the table. And I think now we're going to start seeing get more and more accepted and less taboo, and that has its positive sides. But I think too, people can be a little cavalier with the use of this, and it's also it's easy to kind of detach yourself from what you need to be doing to get yourself to a better place. So, but the amount that this guy's smoking, to bring it back to the question, a quarter ounce a month is minuscule compared to a lot of the people that I see in shops.
Definitely.
That's like
I haven't seen that much.
There's a lot of people that I know who are going through like an ounce a month.
Although 1 to 3 bowls a day, that is kind of a lot.
Well, it depends on the bowl size. If he's packing super fat bowls that are like putting you on the couch, like
that's a lot.
That's a lot on a work day.
3 bowls.
But if you're doing like little half, if
you're
doing
high, you're high all day.
You can have cherry bowls though, where you're putting like this, like a little teeny pinch of weed in, and hit that, and you're going to get a little like pick me up, but you're not going to get high.
I think he means a standard bowl.
If he's doing a quarter ounce a month, those aren't super big bowls.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so
how big is a quarter? Like with your hand?
It's like
how many grams are in a quarter?
It's 2 of these, like 2
a month.
How many grams is that?
It'd be 0.23.
Like this? You mean like flat? Or like this? Like.
Yeah, like that.
Like this and like this?
This is doing nothing for the podcast listeners. Shannon and I are comparing our hands to find the rough size of an eighth jar.
An eighth. Oh, an eighth?
Well, I was doing 2/8.
Oh, I know what an eighth is. Okay,
Super confusing.
Okay, I got it now. I'm so bad with fractions.
I don't think that their use is that comparable, and the substances that they're using have a different level of potency and effect on your life. However, anytime you talk to a spouse partner about their vices, if you also have vices, that is something that you should probably expect to get brought into the conversation. Not necessarily healthy. It can be, not necessarily healthy, but it's probably going to get brought up.
Yes, I agree about the whole, I think it's still a little bit, maybe too much weed, perhaps, because I really do think people can, their personalities can change with weed, especially heavy smokage over time.
Lethargy kicks in at a certain point.
Yep. And however, though, every single thing that I've been in trouble for in my life, that I have done something wrong, legally, gone to the hospital, probably hurt my friends, whatever, probably said mean stuff to my mom, blah, 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 was because of alcohol.
Yeah.
And so she's drinking a fifth a night. I'm sorry. Serious danger can happen.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
So much.
You gotta be near blacked out. Not to mention how awful that is for your health. You're literally poisoning yourself.
And that's something like I've come to terms with of like my continued, like I still imbibe alcohol. I've accepted like, yeah, it's poison. It's poison. I'll just accept that one and like gnaw it and hopefully one day move away from it.
Well, everyone's got to have their vice, and you know, it's not like if you don't do it insane amounts, it's like totally fine to have a good relationship with it. Like more power to you. It sounds like she's gone overboard. Like this is not a healthy relationship with alcohol at all. Mm-hmm. It's alcoholic times a bajillion.
Right.
Like that's a lot of alcohol.
And that is something like, and I'm just speaking from what I see in the industry, like an average consumer amount from a retail side of you, people who use flower, a quarter a month is not that, like it's probably, if they're exclusively using flour, I'd say they're somewhere around the average of your average California consumer. I'd say they're usually buying 2/8 and that holds them over for the month.
Yeah.
So, but you're also like usually sharing that with other people and you know, you're not smoking all of it yourself, but it's the fifth is way more concerning to me than the 2 quarters or the quarter in a month. I know plenty of people who consume that much and you'd never know that they smoke.
Right. But again, we're comparing apples to oranges here because this should just be 2 separate discussions.
It is. It's
Top comment, it's all considered binge drinking. Anyways, I suggest you both reassess your substance use. It's never a good sign when you start splitting hairs on what drug is better or worse for you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And I also think if this guy's really in control of where he's at with cannabis, cutting back's not that hard with weed. Getting out of your usual drink cycle, that can be really physically challenging.
Yeah.
Cutting back on weed, that takes just a little bit of willpower and just like self-awareness of like, I'll do an 8 for this month. And that's like a place to start at least. Because it is something that I think like I can stop doing it cold turkey for tolerance breaks and just to make sure I can do that. I can do that very easily compared to like taking breaks from alcohol. I actually have to fight the impulse to like go to the fridge and make my usual drink. So not fight as in like, I can't help myself, but just in that like reflex when I go to the fridge, like, I'm going to have a glass of water instead. Yeah. So with weed, it's just like, okay, I'm not smoking. And it's easy to just kind of shut that off.
I sort of feel like neither one of them is the asshole. And it just seems like they're just having a typical like relationship, like miscommunication, I think, because he's coming to her, or I think they both decided they wanted to be healthy, but like he was coming to her with concern, and then she turned around on me because she felt hurt, and then because she was hurt and she probably knows it's true, she's then starting to feel a little bit like defensive, and I can't blame her either.
Yeah, I
think they could just come together and be like, look, both of us maybe overreacted or overstepped the other night. Let's now talk about this, but let's talk about yours first, then we can talk about mine after.
I think he's got to cut back.
Look, cutting back on a vice never hurt anybody. Well, I think with all that wonderful insight, we can put a capper on this. I think this is a no assholes here.
I think so. I guess I wanted to say another thing I've been thinking about conflicts is thinking about, well, yeah, they're your partner and they're equal, right? But like in the end, you're trying to fucking help them.
Yeah.
Right? So like think of that like conflict rules like how you would with a child. Imagine telling a child like never smoke pot, but then smoking pot in front of him. It's like, well, obviously the actions scream.
I think it's a no assholes here and do better with a little like in parentheses on the end of it. Just cut back.
Yeah, figure it out.
Sure.
You guys can do it.
Take a break for a month together. Make it like a thing you're actively doing to keep each other honest.
Keep each other accountable.
Help each other.
Yeah.
Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITApod. Jake, you're on Patreon. Oh, sorry, you're on Discord.
I'm on the Discord, and that was the best Danny Vega impression I ever did, by the way, everybody. I was so dialed in.
I can't believe that.
But yes, I love the Discord. Having tons of fun on there.
You're having whole conversations I didn't know happened.
Oh, yeah. No.
You had a whole conversation about The Office.
Oh, there was a
I guess
whole.
there's like I missed that.
I kind of kicked the hornet's nest on that one. I apologize for anybody who.
man.
We'll discuss that on another episode. I got a lot to say about the NBC smash hit The Office. I got opinions on it.
Stop.
Well, it's in the Discord now.
It is in the Discord.
So please join us.
Also, the forbidden channel that Danny doesn't want you to know about, tabletop gaming, for anybody who is into the super
we
cool
go.
and healthy hobby of tabletop gaming. But
On the Discord.
That brings us to, on the Discord,
This brings us to
the second situation
of the day.
Nah. AITA for using CBD cannabis before babysitting my cousin's kids. My cousin recently had me look after their 8-year-old for a night because they wanted to go away, and I love the little dude, so no problem with me. I recently broke up with my fiance, so a night with a little kid doing dumb little kid things was a nice thing to take my mind off it. I smoke cannabis, mostly cannabis that contains THC, but I also smoke CBD, only bud for medical use. CBD only bud for medical use. It's for some stomach issues and anxiety. Anyone with stomach issues and anxiety knows it's a vicious circle of the of one bothering the other, so CBD helps a lot with both. I'm currently staying at a friend's house while I sort out some things out from a separation, and I smoke in their shed, as do they. Before my nephew, or I guess he's my little cousin, came over, I smoked a CBD joint in the shed. CBD doesn't get you high or intoxicated. It just has medical benefits. Cousin and his wife dropped the little dude off, but are having some troubles with the car, so I tell them my buddy has some tools in his shed and we can take a look at the car. They follow me to the shed, and when I open it, smoke pours out and it smells like weed. My cousin's wife asks, "Are you high?" And I explain, yes, I just smoked, but no, it was only CBD. She didn't understand the difference and said there's no way they're leaving their kid with me while I'm intoxicated. I told her that I wasn't, and they were being ridiculous. My cousin knows the difference, but said on principle I shouldn't have smoked. I said that's dumb because it's medication. Doesn't impair you, so it's no different from me taking a couple Advils before they came. Also pointed out the double standard considering they both drink regularly, and that's not an issue.
Yeah, amen.
Anyways, cousin thinks I'm an asshole now. Wife won't talk to me. Little dude is super bummed out that we're not going to have a night where he gets to play my video games anymore. LOL. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
Oh man.
Spicy Shannon.
I think this is bullshit.
Uh-oh. Hot
Those
take.
kids, I mean, those parents, what's your problem? What's your deal? He just said you couldn't feel it. And you drink. You're drunk around your kids all the time.
You're drunk right now. You drove here drunk. They obviously weren't.
did.
They obviously weren't. That's a big reach on our part.
But seriously, it's like, come on. That's unfair. And then it's unfair for your kid who really wanted to hang out with his cousin.
This is not uncommon. Most people, like in states where cannabis is still not legal, they see now that hemp CBD has been legalized. Like in Texas, it's been legalized for a few years. And people in Texas will go around thinking like, yeah, we got weed shops here. And it's like, no, you have CBD clinics. And that's a totally different thing where they're basically selling you a low performance grade version of what THC derived CBD would be able to do for you in terms of performance. So it's kind of this sneaky way where people that aren't in the cannabis industry are kind of tricking uninformed customers into thinking that they're in the cannabis industry when in reality they're just selling them like a little plant and without a lot of huge benefits to it. So what is happening here is the wife in this situation does not see a difference between CBD and THC.
Yeah.
She does not want to know the difference between it because she's in protection mode. She just dropped off her child, her precious baby, the love of her life, to scary doobie man, and she doesn't have time to learn why this type of weed is better than this other type of weed, even though what he was using is completely non.
And I mean, honestly, if he had just not said it.
Sometimes. So that's my
honest.
That is my one ding, my one little wing ding on this here. Smoke poured out of the shed.
Yeah,
it poured out of the shed. Why were you just smoking that much of CBD weed?
Maybe because they like the ritual of it.
Maybe they just like that sweet flavor. That's fully possible.
Honestly, that almost shows you the impaired judgment that you would fuck it up this bad.
Yeah, but just soberly.
Well,
doesn't
okay.
alter your
this now.
Well, it does in a way, I guess.
It does.
Now,
It all
not
alters you.
Not like THC though.
Not like THC, but it still alters you. I got CBD in there.
is it possible that he is lying and he was for sure 100% definitely high? Because
Why would he write in and lie for anonymity?
I don't know, because like ego's weird. You're probably right.
No, I like that. I think,
really? You
I
think he's a liar?
I think
No,
it's not that he's a liar. It's that he wanted to see it a certain way. You know why? I like that question, right? Why do people post on this? And sometimes it's because they just want to hear that they're right.
Yeah.
But you could write a story in an unobjective way. You could put your own bias into it, right?
Yeah,
Right.
but he is blatantly lying here. If that's the
And I
case.
don't think he is. I think that, like, I just find there's something about the issue. I'm wondering what the cousin's rep is to the wife for this one thing. Well, I guess that, like, your babysitter, if you think your babysitter's high, that's probably a deal breaker.
Doesn't it show that his judgment was shit, that he was so blatant about it? It's like, you're fucking crazy, man. You want me to think that your judgment's sound?
No, that's
What? I think it's nice that he's just being honest. They asked him.
No, but they
Well,
saw the
he
smoke,
didn't-
I thought.
he's
Yeah, but
being
what's
honest.
wrong with that?
He's being honest when he's caught. He didn't come forward with it up front.
Well, I think it's so much that he's not even thinking anything.
Yeah.
He's not really trying to get away
I
with
agree.
it. He just goes to the shed, the smoke comes out, and they go, "Oh, did you smoke?" And he was like, "Yeah, but it was CBD."
Right, and they didn't have
And
any
so
time to learn
he
what
didn't
it was.
think. I feel like he didn't think he was doing anything wrong.
You need to remember how you present the hobby, how you present this vice that you have. And I don't think CBD is a vice. I think it's just a medical tool. Like, you might enjoy it, but it's really not like creating a sense of euphoria for you on any level. If you're babysitting somebody's kid, maybe present it yourself differently.
It looks sloppy. It looks shady. It looks thoughtless. These are
Yeah.
all the things we don't want when we're leaving our kid with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I think he just thinks it's not that big of a deal because it's just CBD. He's not.
Yeah.
Even, I think he's not
No, I
even
don't think he's an asshole.
registering.
he sounds chill as fuck.
I think everyone's
Oh, he
chill.
sounds real chill.
The
I
mom
love his
got
voice.
scared. The mom got scared.
Yeah. No, she got
I
scared.
guess, but I'm just saying.
She's
yeah.
not being bigoted. She's like, I don't like what I smell here. I don't like how you imagine the difference of him saying, "Hey, just so you know, the shed might smell a little weird."
But
Yeah.
he didn't even think of it. That's so much. He
That's
wasn't even
because he
thinking
was
about
being
it.
thoughtless.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He
you're
wasn't
right.
being conscious of what he wasn't having that much foresight.
That's
Obviously, it's a
true.
habit for him. Yeah, it's something he's usually thoughtless about. I'm literally leaving my kid with you, something you probably haven't done very much. I need you to be sharp.
Look, until that little dude turns 14, I'm not giving him any of my weed. Normally, I would ding somebody for being this reactionary and not bothering to learn what's going on. But a kid's involved, survival sense goes on, and mom was just trying to... Mom bear is trying to defend baby bear.
Yeah.
I get it. I
don't
understand
think
her
it's that
reaction.
bad.
I guess that's it.
I think...
I think we could do NAH, right?
I think this is NAH.
NAH.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of putting her out in a way, but he
Yeah.
didn't mean to.
Yeah. I think that this is, it's a communication thing again, but also just like,
That's true. How much
Yeah.
better would it have been? Hey, just so you know,
Yeah.
I am going to smoke my CBD. Just giving
I
you a
can link
heads
you
up.
an article, just let you know, like there's literally none, but I need it for my anxiety. So
I have
That's
also,
being conscious and aware.
well, before we get out of here, y'all, we've got one more for you, and it's not a listener's suggestion.
Oh, yeah, I
it's
forgot
not a
about
Reddit
this.
suggestion. It's a Shannon suggestion.
Yeah.
Shannon, you've got our third sitch of the day,
I
closing
do.
out the 420 ep.
I totally forgot about this.
What do you got for us?
Okay, so this is a situation that happened to my mom. And this is to bring it back to the parking lot that we have at the shore. AITA for throwing a dirty diaper into the car window of one of my parking lot guests.
This is bioterrorism.
This is bioterrorism.
My mom is like very feisty.
Wow.
Go on.
Yes, she is. And not in a sexual way.
No, I'm
No,
not
we
thinking
weren't on that. No, that's crazy.
You were talking about dirty diapers. I want to know what happened.
It sounds like your mom's like, I have hobbies like gardening and sarin. Like, what is she
Sarin.
into?
Okay, listen. She's a firecracker. Not in a sexual way.
All right, Shannon, at this point, you keep saying that, and it's making us more concerned.
There's nothing sexual. Your mom sounds like a warlord. Does your mom lord over any wars?
Okay, so
Has she brought that up?
basically, yes, this is the beginning of one. She manages the parking lot, and she has since I was 10. It was like my grandparents owned it, and they ran the bed and breakfast. She always has to pick up like just trash all over, like just people are pigs, you know? Like we've had to pick up condoms before, cigarettes, dirty diapers.
Ugh.
And so this was like, it must have been one of those weeks where it was just like people were just leaving shit all over the place. Must have been like a busy weekend or something. And she like had it with the trash that everyone was leaving all over the ground. So this guy is packing up his car. He's in like this big truck, and she sees a dirty diaper on the ground. And he gets in to pull off, and she goes and runs up to it right next to his car. She goes, runs, picks it up, and she's like, "Is this yours?" And he's like, "No, it's not mine." And she was like, "Oh, really? It's not? Because it's warm, and you have a kid in the back seat." And he's like, "No, it's not mine, lady." He's like you can toss it, throw it out yourself. And she's like, "There's a trash can like right there." And he was like, "No, it ain't mine, lady." And so then they get really heated, and so then she just throws it right onto, not on his lap, but like where his feet are, like throws it into there. And he got so pissed, like almost, you know, I'm sure he almost wanted to hit her, but then he like, I think just pulled away. So AITA.
Okay.
I know my verdict instantly, but what a play.
Your mom had visual confirmation that this was the diaper of this car.
I think she didn't like see him throw it, but it was literally right there.
Common sense.
It was his fucking diaper.
And nobody else was
doubt in
around,
my
and it
mind.
was hot. Like the diaper was hot.
Which is a terrible piece of information to have to confirm for yourself.
Yes.
Of like,
when she picked it up.
So gross.
I hate it. But if you litter, you are opening up the societally acceptable door for somebody to walk up and throw that trash back in your car. I think 9 out of 10 people would see that and be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That person did the right thing. So it just happened to be a dirty diaper, and that's the grossest possible thing it could be.
It just screams justified asshole to me. It's like, well, is what she did okay? Of course not. I mean, she escalated this conflict. She
Could have like gotten herself into some serious trouble.
Yep.
Like I'm telling you, she's ballsy.
Yeah.
I think your read was fair. I mean, it's dangerous to be this aggressive toward a man, for sure.
Yeah.
But like realistically, the thing is, he knew he was wrong, and
He
that's why he didn't come back.
That's why he backed off. And
yeah.
I will say too, there is something so like beautifully New Jersey Batman about this
Yes.
moment of like,
Totally.
I'm not the hero this state needs. I'm the one it fucking gets. Like
Yeah.
there's just, I really respect that choice.
And I hate when people litter.
Oh,
I get
it's awful.
like so mad. The other day Ken and I were, one of our friends were getting coffee, and this girl just blatantly just throws her takeout outside of her window onto
Oh my
like
God.
Sepulveda.
Yeah,
And I literally looked at her and I was steaming. I was just like giving her this look, like grating my teeth, like eyeing her up and down, like, are you serious? Like I was
Yeah.
getting pissed. I'm like, I want you to see my look right now.
I think it is one of those, and it's always amazing to me how much trash is just blowing around the freeways at any given time.
Yeah, because
of like,
people
who's
just
doing
litter?
all this? Yeah.
What pigs?
It is a non-violent crime that gets a you just committed a violent crime
Oh,
response
yeah. Oh,
from
yeah.
people.
Because
Okay.
when you're shitting on society when you do
Totally.
it. Too.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
ultimate
so
selfishness.
disrespectful.
And that it's an emotional thing. I think it does kind of have to do with your deeper view on society and
yeah.
how the world works, right?
Totally.
Like the more
And
of a
your
conspiracy
morals.
theorist you are, the more you feel that the world is not serving you, that your life is characterized by misery.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck this place and fuck you guys.
Get a car trash bag too. Like,
Yeah.
have a car trash bag. It's just an
Literally.
easy thing to do. Get a little plastic
Yeah,
bag.
well,
bam.
people eating in their cars. I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, you
I
guys-
I
have
do
to.
it all the
I have to do that.
Disgusting.
I do it constantly.
for my
work,
job.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm in the
and
car.
you
We're
know,
both
one's
in the
eating
car
in my
constantly.
vehicle, and it's a gorgeous interior. Hands.
Really? I was in it. I was like, actually, I hate this interior.
No, it was immaculate. It's very close.
No.
Ma'am, respectfully, is it your testimony?
Respectfully, ma'am.
Is it your testimony, ma'am, that the interior, I do let the outside get dirty. I do let the outside
Sure.
get, because I'm not going to go wash it every week. That
We
costs
live-
$30.
we live in
I
a
was
dusty
kidding.
town.
It costs
Great.
$30.
Great interior.
I
insane.
really
I washed
like-
my own.
Someone hit it with a golf ball too. Probably Tyler fucking Durden. You know what I mean? Some punk kids saw the movie. We all remember that scene?
Yeah.
Hitting the golf balls. That's what I'm talking about. Antisocial types like that. What is Fight Club about? I'm just kidding. what when I don't host, it turns into like David Foster Wallace. Let's talk about him. AITA for chucking a diaper back into a car after the guy littered the diaper.
Yeah.
I agree with what Danny's saying with justified asshole, but I think the other way of saying justified asshole is like being a vigilante for justice.
Yeah, I mean, I know what my verdict is, but I'm biased. Biased? Do you say ED at the end? Biased.
Yeah.
Or you're biased?
I guess the other way to say it would be, and the AITA philosophers debate this, but I would say NTA and he is, but time served. In other words, this is a break-even interaction. Like, because, because he was being an asshole, but the punishment honestly is like
the punishment fit the crime.
The punishment fit the crime. And it's not deserved either. It's not deserved because he didn't deserve that level of misery. It's just that it fit.
The diaper was still wrapped. It didn't even explode or get anywhere.
Oh, it didn't explode or get anywhere?
No, the poop didn't get anywhere. It was
an
just
expert throw. Throw.
Well, it was it's wrapped up in it. No,
it got somewhere.
No, it didn't. Diapers wrap up with like tape on them. Yeah,
with tape on them
on the sides where you tape
adhesive.
and then you can wrap them up. And I mean, they can explode. It's not like fail-proof.
So she lobbed
she said
it. It was a clean lob.
Well, it was just like this. Tossed it.
So then he was really just incensed at the gesture.
Yeah, that she did that.
You're telling me poop didn't explode, Jake? I'm struggling.
No,
with that.
I actually believe. That they are. I think they are designed to collapse in on themselves and like hold together because it's gross. But I think his reaction was entirely fueled by the fact that he was challenged.
He got caught.
He was challenged, and then like he also realized like there's baby shit near me now, and that probably made him freak out a little bit too.
Disrespectful, like in a way, or he deserved it.
Well, now I'm almost like no. Then I'm just like clean NTA. I thought it exploded.
No,
yeah,
it's
just
clean
a clean NTA. Then.
Yeah, clean NTA, and thanks for sticking up for the common man, Shannon's
That's right.
mom.
She's a warrior.
Representing out on the famous Lewis parking lots of
Shannon's parking lot money.
That's
Mike,
a special
it's
kind of money.
not like you're acting like it's like what millions or something.
Billions.
So you have a parking lot
in this economy. In this economy,
do you know how valuable it is to be able to park in New Jersey? The worst place that I've ever.
I mean, I
been
guess,
to.
but their prices aren't very high at all.
Is it near the city?
What city?
And the podcast.
New York or Philly, bitch?
Thanks for listening, everybody.
The Philly's not. I don't even know what to say that.
We are going to.
No, and it's not. I'm South Jersey, okay, hon?
That's disgusting.
We are going to come back to the air, assuming Shannon and Danny haven't killed each other by the time we record
said the city,
next.
Philly.
No,
and
I knew it.
Well, you're just saying the city, like there's no other cities.
It's the city. Jersey, that's the
pretentious
city.
of you, know.
Oh, Jersey? I was talking about San Francisco.
The bottom half of New Jersey is Philly. And I just thought you didn't know
I would never address Philly as the city. You know, it's a city.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Arizona.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for having me at the helm. Little loose, little goose. A lot of juice, just like I promised.
Wow, that was good.
Thank you.
Somebody put that on a sticker.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time. Thank you for
guys. Love you.
Bye.
Oh my God, guys. I have an apartment building. It's 6 o'clock. We're okay.
We did it.